Joshua Burley, the winner of my Football Manager 2018 giveaway from episode 1 of this series, is a true gentleman. Contacted me to say, Kev, I've already bought the game. I don't need that one you're giving away. Give it away to someone else. So we're going to have another try. Load up the random picker screen. Different one. Excellent. Right. The winner of the Football Manager 2018 code. Why isn't it doing anything? I mean, this worked a minute ago. Hold on. It's all going. I've got to load the comments up. Aye. Right, here we go. The winner is. I mean, this is a bit of an anticlimax now. The winner is. Oh, look at all those names. The winner is. Take your time. No rush. Luke Cooper. Luke, in the same as with Joshua Burley, I don't have a way to contact you myself, but if you contact me, I will then provide you with the code. Hello and welcome to part 6 of my Football Manager 2018 beta save with Monaco. I'm Kev, and since you were last with, and that's not what I do, I say coming up on this episode. Goodness me, the script's gone crazy. Good job it's a beta. We're away against Roma in the Champions League in what should just be our rubber stamping of our place in the knockout round. In fact, we're already in the knockout round. We're just playing Roma for the fun of it, because playing Roma is fun. And then we're against Paris Saint-Germain in the league. This is the big one. We're 11 points behind Paris Saint-Germain now, down in 4th place after an iffy spell of form. I mean, it's not been disastrous. The big issue was losing that game against Guingamp. I mean, there's a reason we didn't play that one on video. Against them, and then following it up with a draw against Amiens. So we've not won in the last 2 games, and we are tumbling down the league a little bit. There's a couple of other draws mixed in as well. It's been okay. It has been a fairly rough spell of form, but hopefully we turn that around today. Starting off against Roma, and if I can remember where the tactics screen is, there you go. This is the team that we're going to be playing against Roma. I've taken on board some of the comments. I'm mixing up the midfield a little bit. I have rested Tielemans. He's not being dropped, he's being rested. But this is our team. We've got Subasic in goal, a back 4 of Congolo, Jemison, Glick and Sidibe, with Sander Berger as our register, behind Fabinho back as a box-to-box midfielder, Matinho as our advanced playmaker, and then a front three of Lamar, Jovetic and Baldi. I'm resting Falcao and Tielemans because we've already qualified for the knockout round, so let's try some different combinations. Those two are kind of nailed on starters for the team going forward. There's a few other positions that are a little bit under threat though, because we have money to spend in January. We were given £52 million of transfer budget. I've converted some of it to wage budget because we were over our wage budget. So we've still got £41 million to spend. My initial thoughts was go out and sign a player who can play as our register. But I want to try Berger there, because if he can do it, we don't need to sign someone else. We spent a lot of money on Berger in the summer, and I kind of feel like we need another striker. Once we get past Jovetic and Falcao, we are kind of limited in what we've got. So we'll have another look at Baldi today from the start as a striker, see if he can do it. And if he can't, then I think my priority going into January is going to be a striker, unless Berger is a complete disaster as a register. So they're the two that we're keeping an eye on today, Baldi and Berger, because they're going to have a direct impact on the transfers we're going to look to make in the January transfer window. And we probably are only going to be able to bring in one player. £41 million might seem like a lot. An old Kev, not Kev who is aged, but Kev of previous Football Manager series would have had no problem with signing 2 players for £50 million each with that kind of money on the Never Never. But I'm trying to be a sensible grown-up now, and I don't want to do that. So I'm thinking that's probably one player. We've only got enough wage budget space for one player. So we probably just need to bring in one really top player who's going to improve our team. We did have an offer accepted for a defensive midfielder, but then I pulled out of the deal because he was 29. He wanted a lot of money. And I just thought, you know what, £40 million for a 29-year-old, it doesn't feel like the Monaco way. Congolo did brilliantly there, and that's a great finish from Lamar. We've just seen some fancy football from Congolo. He's fully aware that George is almost recovered from his broken leg, and certainly within a couple of weeks, probably not in time for Paris Saint-Germain in this episode, but by the time of our next episode, we're going to have 2 really good left-backs to choose from, and Congolo's trying to show me why he should be the man who maintains that position, which, absolutely fair enough. But that was weird. I'm sure I just heard somebody walking on my driveway. So I went all the way into the house to have a look. There's nobody there. Come back out into the garage again. By the way, if you're new, I record this in the garage. And it sounds like there's someone walking on my driveway again. This is quite troubling. The fact that I'm now talking about them suggests if they want me to know that they're there, they'll now respond and say, "Oh, I'm the person walking on the driveway." So either there's some kind of sneaky ninja out there who's looking to burgle me, or I'm just imagining it. This is like when I imagine the Undertaker waiting for me outside the bathroom if I go to the toilet in the middle of the night. I'm spooking myself now. I might have to start recording in the house. Forget the green screen. We're going to record in my dining room with pop vinyls behind me. That might actually be quite cool. Right, where were we? We're winning 1-0. Good. Did Berger just do a good pass? We're supposed to be paying attention to this. I think Berger just did a nice little forward pass. Fabinho showing why him being box-to-box is going to be a bit of a difference maker. And Baldi grabs a goal. I mean, there are 3 changes that we've made today to have a look at what can be done. And at the moment, they're all good changes. So what if all 3 of these work? What on earth do we spend this money on? Fullbacks? I mean, that seems like the sensible course of action. We've only got 2 really good left backs, and to be fair, we've only got 1 really good right back. So we could go and spend £40 million on a really good right back, so that we have 2 top fullbacks on each side. I think that seems like a sensible course of action. How many of you are now going to comment and say, "Kev, don't buy the fullback"? I'm kidding. I probably will still buy fullbacks, but intellectually I know I'm not supposed to. I know, I still feel like a striker maybe. If the midfield's going to work as it is, we did buy 2 midfielders in the summer, so buying a 3rd midfielder when we've only got 2 proper strikers seems frivolous. When we have got players who can play in various spots in midfield, Berger's sat there ready to slot in anywhere and hasn't really found his role in the team yet. So if his role in the team ends up being as the regista, that's fine. That's a through ball from Baldi. And I tell you what, Baldi's having a very, very good game playing as our advanced forward. It's a bit of a problem because that's where Falcao plays. And I guess what we need to have a look at now is work out if him and Falcao can play together. That might be a job for another day. Sander Berger's lost more possession than any other player on his team. Okay, that leans me back towards maybe buying a defensive midfielder. But then, if I do that, what was the point of signing Berger? Because if we sign a defensive midfielder, Berger's going to struggle to even get on the bench. Because once Tielemans back in the team, Moutinho drops back to Regista maybe, or Moutinho drops out completely. Moutinho then becomes our first choice midfield substitution, and Berger doesn't even get a look in. So with Berger being a good young player, should we just trust in the player we've already got and strengthen in a position? I mean, if we brought in a striker, he'd be coming off the bench every game as a minimum, if not pushing Jovetic out of the team. It is difficult. Right, we don't really have anyone else who can play box-to-box midfielder. Can we do that? Does that work? Let's try that. And then also bring Falcao on and try that. And see if that works. Is there anything else we need to have a look at? As we've got this game won already. I guess the other thing is just get Torre on for some experience. Because he's our young utility playing defender who can pretty much play anywhere across that back 4. But what we're really looking at now is how Moutinho does as the regista and how Falcao and Balde play together. They're our current observations. So we're looking for... Right, Tielemans should come in as the attacking midfielder and be a bit influential. That's what we're hoping for. Baldi's in again and misses. Falcao wasn't involved at all in the move though, so let's not worry too much yet. Moutinho, I think, I'm not sure about as a regista. We're going to give him a go on the ball here. No, it's Tielemans. Tielemans is everywhere. Moutinho's kind of just following him around. Sidibe beats his man. We've now got Falcao and Torre in the middle, but it's Lamar who gets there. Then Tielemans following up. Not seen anything of Falcao yet playing as the complete forward on support. He usually plays as the advanced forward. And he has been very good all season. But Balde's having a cracking game in that role. Moutinho picks up the ball on the edge of the area, finds Berger out of Congolo now, and the move ends. I'm leaning towards signing a defensive midfielder again. because I don't want Berger to be my only option there. Moutinho doesn't look like he can get the job done. Dropping Fabinho back there, although he can do it, means we then don't have a box-to-box midfielder. Unless Berger can do that. I've not really tried. Is that what he's doing now? I think that's where we've got Berger now, isn't it? So that's the other thing we're looking at. I think probably a striker. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. I need to make a decision and I don't know what to do. Oh, it's so complicated. I've got too much money to spend. Take it all back. Sidibe tackles. Right, Falcao now with a chance to get on the ball, but the full-time whistle goes. I mean, going to Roma and winning 3-0, that'll do nicely. We need to convert some of this Champions League form into league form because we've been dominant in in a really difficult Champions League group, but we are drifting away a little bit in Ligue 1. And I guess the way to turn that around would be to beat Paris Saint-Germain now. One other thing to consider before we get into the Paris Saint-Germain game about transfer policy for January is that we've had 2 players who've asked for transfers, and because of the fact that they're influential players, it's Sidibe and Fabinho. If we have a look at our hierarchy, Fabinho is a team leader, Sidibe is right at the top of highly influential players. So they're 2 of our most influential players. Interestingly, apparently we have too many team leaders, so we should be looking to cut back on them anyway. So I think Fabinho probably has to be moved on that basis anyway. But because they're influential players, rather than just saying, no, you've got to stay, we've agreed fees that would allow them to leave. So if Man United offer £45 million or more for Sidibe, we're going to let him go. That's what we've agreed with the player. With Fabinho, he's agreed Paris Saint-Germain have to offer £65 million for him to go. So if we get those offers, then we're going to let those players go, because otherwise we could have a mutiny on our hands. And at the moment, we have a very good dressing room atmosphere, and I'd like to keep it that way. So we get 90% of our transfer money we get to keep. So if they both go, instead of £40 million to spend, we've potentially got £150 million to spend. But then we genuinely do need to buy a right back. We need a box-to-box midfielder. And then we need our +1, probably a striker as well. So there's that to consider. But we won't worry about that right now. What we will worry about is Paris Saint-Germain. We've got to win them to have any chance of mounting a push on them. And realistically, we're not going to anyway. They're that much better than us. But we have made a few tweaks for this game. I've chickened out, dropped Berger back down to the bench. Fabinho comes back in as regista. I am going to play Tielemans as the playmaker with Moutinho as box-to-box, trying another different combination in that midfield. I think it's becoming clear that even if Fabinho stays, we either need a box-to-box midfield replacement so he can play regista, or we need a regista to come in. Because I've just not got the confidence in Berger to come in and do it in big matches like this. So that means he's not the man yet. I am going to keep Balde in up front though. Falcao's going to come back in as the complete forward, with Jovetic dropping down to the bench. So we need to keep an eye on how that partnership goes. It's an untested partnership, but apparently Falcao's well suited. Balde not so much. But Balde's a good player with a lot of potential. We need to find a way to get him into our team, and we're not going to be playing with wingers anytime soon. And if we do, both Balde and Lamar are left wingers, so he ain't going to get in the team then either. So this is the only way he's going to get any game time out of us. We are training him to be a striker, so hopefully that training goes well. If we start playing him there a little bit more often, especially in big games like this, then hopefully it will turn into being a position that he can do. And if we get to January and Balde's scoring a couple of goals, I mean, if he scores again today, for example, I don't know that we necessarily need to go out and buy a striker then, because we've still got Jovetic sat on the bench. We've got Carrillo as well, who, although he's not done anything for us yet, was fourth place, I think, in the predictions for top scorers in the league at the start of the year. So he obviously has something about him. We've just not seen it yet. So there's a lot resting on Balde's performance in this game. If he performs well, then I think my decision's made. We're going to sign a defensive midfield player. If Balde struggles, then we'll sign a striker. Balde's just put us 1-0 up against Paris Saint-Germain. We may have found the answer, everybody. I think we've gone a very roundabout way to get to the point where all you lot were before the episode even started. I've even been getting tweets from people saying, Kev, you need to sign a defensive midfield player. And I've gone on a journey of discovery over a 15-minute period in front of you all. But I think I am now of the similar opinion to you lot. We're going to go and sign a defensive midfield player and hope that we don't have to sell Fabinho, because if we do, we're going to have to sign a box-to-box midfielder as well. Neymar's just, I mean, that was a terrible miss. It went straight into our keeper's hands. And that was a bit weird. You wouldn't expect Neymar to miss from there. Weirdly, not gone down as a clear-cut chance either, which I would have expected it to be. Now, in the unlikely event we hold on in this game and we actually end up beating Paris Saint-Germain, that still leaves us down in 4th place in the league, which obviously is something we need to resolve with a good run of form sooner rather than later. Baldi again. If he'd have scored again, that would have been it. No strikers needed. But it would leave us just 8 points behind him. Just 8 points, he says. It's a lot better than the 14 points behind him will be if they beat us. 8 points with half a season to go. If we make the right signings in January, isn't insurmountable. It's unlikely, but it's not impossible. And then it becomes a case of who is the central midfielder that we buy. Let's work on the assumption that we don't have to sell anybody, because I'm hoping that those prices we've agreed... Did Tielemans just get sent off? No! That changes everything. I don't know what to do. I mean, obviously Berger comes on. Or is that obvious? Does he come on? Does Lamar just drop back? Oh, what do we do? What do we do here? Right, we need a proper tactics screen for this. I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do this. Is that stupid? Obviously, they swap over. Tielemans, what are you thinking? What's going on? Tactics screen, please. There we go. And you're going to be deep lying playmaker on defend. Oh, that's just awful. Dirty, horrible stuff. Right, what does Baldi want to be? I mean, he can't even... Neither of them can play right wing. And it's so annoying that we've got 2 left wingers. Why can't we just... I mean, they are better that... Right, so inside forward on attack. Inside forward on support. No, we need you on attack as well. If we're playing Falcao on support, we'll do that. And then we need to take off, play narrow, I guess. We'll just go balanced. It's all going to fall apart now, and it's all Tielemans' fault. Confirm changes. Right. Oh, that's awful. I mean... I guess we should be trying to go to some kind of defensive system. Mbappe's just come on as well. Oh, they've just brought on Mbappe and Di Maria. Didn't get the breakthrough with Neymar and Cavani. So, you know, let's just bring on Mbappe and Di Maria. It's all right for some, isn't it? I'm here worrying, is Baldi ever going to convert to a proper striker? And they can just bring Mbappe off the bench. Lamar's in. I thought, if Lamar had scored there. I mean, if we do manage to hold on here, that would be quite remarkable. Baldi's in again, but can't quite beat his man. And we've managed to survive 15 minutes. Can we survive another 30? It's not asking much, is it? Oh, I think Sander Berger, we need to get him warming up. Matinho, I don't know if he's got an entire game playing as the defensive playmaker in him. I think we need to get Berger on in that role sooner rather than later. And Mbappe, of course, it's Mbappe who scores. And now PSG are going to go on and win the game. We are going to be 14 points behind him. I don't have a response to this. We're down to 10 men. I don't have anything. The strength in depth has been our big issue all season. It's why we've not been able to rotate the squad properly. It's why fitness has been a problem. Perhaps we need to just... There you go. Martinho's injured as well now. I was already going to be making this change, but that's made my mind up. Berger can come on and play as a deep line playmaker. And... Jovetic on for Baldi. If we swap those 2 over and get Lamar as a winger, which is what you actually wants to be, Jovetic can do inside forward. Then I guess we'll make Falcao a complete forward on attack and have Lamar as the support player, and just see if that manages to muster a winner from somewhere. But it's only going one way at this point. It's going to be Paris Saint-Germain, probably with another Mbappe goal. Did we make all our substitutions? Why does it look like we've only made 2? Have we only made 2 substitutions? So we have got a third one, but I mean we've got no one we've not got a game changer to bring on. It's not like we've got an Mbappe or a Di Maria sat on our bench, and there is Mbappe, hits the crossbar. Right, Lamar, with the chance to prove that we should be playing with wingers, because it's the first time all season we've played him in a position he's actually comfortable playing in. Falcao's motivated. Well, he's on a 6.4, I've just noticed, so I don't care how motivated you are, son. You're coming off. We're going to give Carrillo a go and just see if he's perhaps got a winner in him. This is his big test to see if he's as good as the media seem to think he was pre-season. Did we just take off a motivated Falcao against Paris Saint-Germain when we needed a goal? Oh, what am I doing? Now Glick's nervous. At least the other two defenders around him are looking calm. That'll make up for his nervousness. He's the winner. Oh, Subasic, I think, with a decent save in the end there. I mean, in the circumstances, a 1-1 would be a spectacularly good result, but it doesn't do anything for our season. So, it's win or bust. A draw isn't much better than loss at this point. We've got to try and find a winner from somewhere. It's not looking like to happen. You may as well just crown Paris Saint-Germain as champions now. This was going to be our way to catch them. And because of the silliness of Yuri Tillemans, it's not going to happen. And 6 minutes of added time. Come on! The crowd roar when they hear 6 minutes. Let's go and grab the winner. It's been a very evenly matched game as well, looking at those stats, and it is us with the ball going into what must be one of the final highlights of the game, but it's fallen to Neymar. He's not the man we want to see it. Mind you, neither is he, and Subasic collects again. Can we get the ball up into their half? I mean, that would be an achievement at this stage of the game. Subasic kicks it there. Lamar brings it down nicely, beats two men, but he's heading in the wrong direction, but finds Sidibe, who crosses, and we had a man over in the middle. How on earth did we end up with a man over when we're the team down to 10 men? Glick with a good side challenge, but Di Maria cuts the cross back, and with 5 minutes deep into injury time, we've conceded what has to be the winning goal now. And Mbappe's massively involved in it. I mean, look at that. It's a good challenge from Glick, but it left him massively out of position, and their extra man, mate, it was a difference maker. And we've played we've played half the game with 10 men. 98 minutes we've got to, and the game still isn't over. Shall we get an unlikely equaliser? I don't think it's coming. Feels like the game might be crashing, which is no bad thing. If it does, no, we get another highlight. 98.5 minutes. That's how long it's taken them to beat our 10 men. It's not all bad, but we're not winning the league this year, that's for sure. And we're relaxed and motivated. Oh, good. We just lost to our big title rivals, and you're relaxed and motivated. Good work, assistant manager. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments who we should be signing. Don't necessarily even need names. Just confirm that I'm right in thinking it's a defensive midfielder. If you've got some names though, I certainly wouldn't object to having them. If you've enjoyed today's video, please make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up for me. One of those. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.